Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and today we are doing story time, at least for this video. And this story time is going to be about this little monkey. I know I said I wasn't going to put pictures of my kiddos up, but this is my firstborn. She had her 17th birthday yesterday. And can I tell you that I keep looking around for a more adulty adult because I feel neither mature enough and or old enough to have a 17-year-old at this point. I feel very sure that I in no way am ready to have a teenager or pre-adult. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about how this one came into the world and our first mother-daughter girl chick flick, because I thought that was just a fun moment, and it is full of the Mo's, because of course it is. I'm me. So, taking you back about 17 years, uh, my little girl decided in the middle of a heat wave in August, because of course, um, I hear tell that people plan their pregnancies. Now, this has never happened to me. I have, in fact, never heard of this whole phenomenon, but I've heard tell people do plan these things. But in the middle of the hottest month, this child decided that she was going to wait a week and a day. Now, in my deep discomfort, I did tell her that while she was in there, that she would never get a car. Well, now she did get a car, but I did threaten her that, she would never ever get a car, and she was grounded for her life, because, you know, at that point, you're in Walmart looking at plungers and crowbars to get this child out. Like, I tried everything, spicy food, uh, smexy time, which at that point, I mean, at that point, you're like, "Okay, do I do castor oil or smexy time?" Neither of which are appealing, and ladies, gentlemen, smizmars, do not do castor oil. It is a terrible, terrible idea. My outlaw claimed that my mother-in-law claimed that it worked for her. Now, all castor oil will do is send you sitting on the toilet when you're huge enormous, having what I can only explain to you if you had eaten both Taco Bell and White Castle together at the same time in a huge orgy of food rental and possible food poisoning when you're 9 and a billion months pregnant. Um, so you feel like you're going to puke, and you are not as limber as you once were, and you are just stuck on the potty. So don't do it. It does not work. It is not worth it. All you will do is sit on the potty and feel gross, and the only contractions you will have is from dehydration, and you will go into the hospital, and the nurses will roll their damn eyes at you, give you some water, hook you up to the thing, and send you gosh darn home. It is not worth it. Take it from a Mo. Just don't. Say no. Tell your mother-in-law no. Just let it be. Anywho, and then do not go to Walmart when you're 8.5 and 9 years pregnant, because you will get all the dumb people saying, "Ooh, you look huge. Are you gonna pop?" And, apparently assaulting them is still illegal. But you will get dumb people who will come up to you when you are deeply uncomfortable and try to talk to you. And again, assault is illegal, so just stay out of the public eye. If it is hot, just again, if you are 170 years pregnant, just stay in front of a fan, and it is August, stay in front of a fan. So, it is my due date, and she is never coming out. She has decided to just stay in there. And then a week passes, and I asked the doctor, like, "Is she just stuck? Like, am I gonna hold a toddler in here? Like, what's going on?" It being my first, I didn't realize that babies, they just come on their own schedule. I am you know me, I am type A. Like, I am told this date 15 minutes beforehand, so she is gonna be here about, 2 days prior to the due date. That is how we operate in this system. So, I'm thinking and my mother-in-law's birthday is, a week past my due date, so she was like, "Oh, she'll have her on my birthday." And as that's coming up, I'm like, "Oh god, please don't let her have my mother-in-law's birthday," because I wanted my daughter to at least have her own day. Not that I don't like my mother-in-law, I just wanted her to have her own day because my daughter was going to be the first girl in, like, a generation because my mother-in-law had 3 sons trying to have a girl. And my husband at the time was kind of in and out. He was dealing with some demons, but he was excited about, having a daughter. We'd picked a name and, we both agreed, which was kinda nice. So and I was nervous, but, you know, this pregnancy thing, I had all the books. Everything was going kinda normal, but still super uncomfortable. We tried everything. She was not coming out, so I was gonna go get induced. A week and a day late, gonna go get induced. So I go in the morning and, they do all the strapping you down, giving you the Pitocin. I got an epidural. Ladies, do what makes you feel comfortable. Do what makes you feel comfortable. I am not here to shame you. You do natural birth with Harry Potter as, your comfort zone. You do you. You wanna listen to Yanni and have a natural water birth, fine. You wanna do Scientology and have your thetans, whatever. So, now I was a little more passive. I know you're shocked. And I didn't maybe set boundaries as I should in my first marriage. So, I had the entire circus in my room. Now, it's only hugely, like, not dehumanizing, but I wanna say you're not a specimen, but it's very depersonalizing. You are somewhat naked during this whole birthing process because, you have to get checks done. They have to, you know, obviously there's a baby coming out of a place where you don't wear pants, You can't wear underwear to have a baby. Let's put it that way. So I got my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my aunt or my my mother-in-law's sister for some reason, and my mother-in-law's mother for some reason. Again, all of these people, and at that point, my mother and I had a strained relationship because she didn't like my husband, which, the mm, he was not a nice guy, but I loved him. Any hoozle, she was not there. Not a great time. So, I was not too super keen on everyone being there, but I did not speak up. So again, ladies, I pray that you speak up, and if you want to just be you and your husband, make that known. It is your time, your body. It is going to be you in the stirrups and God and everyone seeing your lady bitch just everywhere, everywhere. So, if you want just you, God, and, the doctor seeing that, have your husband man up and tell his mom to get the F out, and the sister and the grandma. Not that you don't love them, but again, you're a lady that's just displayed out there and, God and everyone, and you might poo, and it is the most vulnerable part of your life because, again, if you have an epidural, you are numb from that, you are scared to death because this is your first child. So just, again, do what feels right to you. If you want the support and love of all your family plus the Easter Bunny and Elvis in there, you do you. But looking back, I would say that I would have just wanted my husband in there and, well, maybe Henry Cavill as my husband, but that anyhoozle. So, my father-in-law at the time is looking at the monitor and telling me when I'm having a contraction before the epidural has started, and, um, quick tip for the pre-husbands, pre-fathers here, we can tell when we're having a contraction. We can. Without the little monitor thing, we actually can fucking tell, 'cause it's our uterus, you asshole. And I mean that with love, but holy crap. He's like, "That's a big one. Can you feel it?" And again, I may have been more mild, but I think the look that I gave him of WTF-ness, um, maybe convinced him. Also, every woman in the room looked at him like, "Are you on the short bus and eating lead paint?" Possibly stopped him from asking that again. Now, we're getting a little bit serious, and I suddenly realize about the time that they tell me that I need to push, um, I had come to the realization, very quickly that I am simply not mature enough to have a child, and, this was a horrible, horrible idea, and, she can stay in forever. I have decided I wanna stop all of this, I want to go home, and I need about another year to prepare for this. This is a terrible idea, I am not mature enough, and, I would like to go home and not do this today. And I come all to all of this, like, as they're like, "Okay, we're ready to push," she's crowning, and I'm thinking, "Oh my god, this is a terrible, terrible idea. I have I've I'm going to screw this child up so bad. Can we push her back in? And, I need about 5 more years, and then I will be a more adulty adult, and we will figure all of this out." Like, when she come like, just totally, I will be awesomer in around 10 years. So, I have this sudden thought that epiphany that I am, just gonna be the most awful mother ever, and I am totally not ready for this as she's crowning, of course, as you do. Like, shove her back in, we're done. Screw this, I'm going home. Full Cartman, just going home. Um, and as I'm pushing, and honest to God, I had the easiest labor and delivery for a first-time mom. I guess birthing hips help. I'm just saying. Uh, and she's out in, like, 3 pushes, and the heartburn thing must be true because I thought I was gonna give birth to a Chewbacca. I am not kidding you, and she had a little mohawk. You can see, oh my gosh, she's so cute. She was 8 pounds, 6 ounces. She was just my little chunky monkey, and, and they put her on your chest, and as soon as she was on my chest, I was like, "That I can't do that, I can do that," and was like, "I love you. I love you. Okay, we'll do this. I don't know how we'll do this, but I love you. I love you so much. I love you so much. Okay, we'll do this. Also, you're very slimy. You are so very slimy. I hope I don't drop you. And you're so warm and oh, you're such a chunky monkey and you have so much hair. I knew you seriously, honest to God, I thought I was gonna give birth to like a full-on Sheltie puppy because I had so much heartburn. It didn't help that I was eating everything. The amount of weird stuff I craved with this child. I have never eaten SpaghettiOs and meatballs since I was in 4th grade, and as soon as I found out I was pregnant with her, SpaghettiOs and meatballs and jalapeno peppers and Totino's pizzas with A1 steak sauce, like, no idea. Not one clue. Pregnancy cravings are the weirdest damn things. You will never figure out why you want them. And the weirdest thing is once you will have not been pregnant for years, like years and years, and you're not pregnant at the time, like can't get pregnant ever again, and you will crave something you did when you were pregnant and you were like, "Don't you put that on me, universe. I ain't about to play that shit no more. You get away from me, but I also will have a Totino's pizza with some A1 sauce because I am weird." So, at this point, they take the baby away and they, scrub her off and, finish up with me and, get me all cleaned up and everything, and, um, all the everyone goes home, and, my husband was having a little bit of a legal problem, so he had to go home too. It is what it is at this point. It's in the past. And so me and my little girl were all alone for the night, and I didn't want her to go to the nursery because I was trying to get nursing down. And if you're a large-chested woman, so this poor nurse, I felt so bad for her because I kept asking questions like, "I'm not gonna suffocate her, are you? Am I?" And this poor nurse was so sweet because she's like, "No, their little scuba diver nose will help them breathe," kind of, because you really have to kind of shove them. Sorry for the men who are listening, but you kind of have to shove them in there to get. God love her. I think my firstborn would have nursed for the rest of her life. I had to stop nursing her because I was going back to work, but she nursed for almost a year and a half. She would have nursed for the rest of her life. She was not one that wanted to give up nursing. So, she was actually a really good nurser, but getting to that point where I felt comfortable really, 'cause again, you feel like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna smother them." So, it's kind of like that Office, um, section where they're trying to show Pam how to nurse. So it was about 9 o'clock at night, and I'm just sitting here with this. I think she had this outfit on, this particular outfit, and I'm just looking into her eyes, and I realized at that moment that she had the oldest souled eyes. I look at her today, and she has been on this earth I don't know how many times. She is the oldest soul I have ever met. I think she was born 40 years old, to be honest. Um, Sometimes it almost feels like she's tired, like some of the elves in Lord of the Rings where they're just like, "Again? Really? Again? We have to deal with this? Okay." So, I just looked at her and I made her a promise that I would do anything and everything to be the best mom I could possibly be, and that I would screw up, but I would try my hardest to be the best mom. And I was flipping through the channels of they have the little TVs in the room for you, and guess what came on? Beaches. So me and my little girl watched our very first chick flick the night she was born. So that is my oldest daughter's first chick flick, and it was awesome. And again, it is a really surreal feeling when they just leave you in the room with your own child, like, "Hey, guys, I don't know if you know this, but I don't feel mature and or, ready for this child, so you're leaving me alone with them." Um, a little bit scary for me, like, can I have a more adulty adult? And don't be afraid to ask the nurses. You generally have classes you have to, or, like, little videos you have to watch. Don't be afraid to ask the nurses for anything. There are no dumb questions. Honest to God, there are no dumb questions. Ask the nurses. If you're nervous about something, there are no dumb questions. Just ask 'em 'cause the they have seen things. Usually, they are super sweet, the postpartum nurses. You know, if you need to send the baby to the nursery to get some sleep while you can. Let that baby go to the nursery. They are the sweetest nurses. I'll tell you what, just be kind to yourself, be kind to set boundaries again, because I didn't do that, and if I have any regrets with my first couple deliveries, it's that I didn't set boundaries. So, while I, don't regret having them, I it is a very vulnerable time. You are, again, in stirrups with God and everyone seeing your lady bits, and Lord knows, I don't know why, but every daggone time I get, like, these student teaching nurses, so you've got all the damn baby nurses just looking at your lady bits just like, "Oh, she's crowning. Well, that's great," like, taking notes, and I'm like, "Well, that's awesome." I did I did try to do some landscaping down there, but, I'm got a giant basketball, so I was going by feel, people. It was a whole Helen Keller job, I don't even know. Um, I had someone do my toenails, I don't know what to tell you, cellulite is a thing, I'm in stirrups. It is I mean, by your 6th one, you're just like, "Okay, and the Easter Bunny's here, might as well put it on cable." I mean, I don't know. It really is, but it is again, that's why I'm so big on boundaries because while it was a magical time and all of his family has really said that, they're very grateful that I allowed them in, and I know that it was a special thing. For me, it was not comfortable, and don't sacrifice your comfort in a very vulnerable situation like giving birth for someone else, and I understand the desire to do so, but it is still a very vulnerable situation for you, and I don't want you to look back and be upset about it. So, that is my only advice, but again, I am just a Mo on the internet, so yay, I got her to 17. But she is my old soul. I think she is gonna do amazing things, and I am just so excited to see what she does. It's really interesting to be in this season of motherhood to kind of step back and see what she does, and terrifying, really, because as when they're younger, you can go in and correct, and now that she's older, she's gonna have to do those things where maybe she makes a mistake and she has to fall down, and I have to let her stand up and brush herself off and correct herself, and that is whew, but I think she has all the tools, and parenting is about giving them the tools to do that themselves, and I think hopefully she has those, maybe, sort of, I don't know, yikes. Okay, I've run on at the mouth enough, and remember, guys, you may not be everyone's cup of tea, but we appreciate you here, and I will see you next time. Do all the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.